Hi, I'm Jen, and you're listening to the Shadow Sanctuary, where I dig into the history of haunted locations to try and find a correlation between historical fact and paranormal experience. Is there a reason for the haunting? Why does energy stay? Keep listening to find out more. Welcome to the Shadow Sanctuary. I'm your host, Jen, and tonight I'm going to be telling you about South Bass Island Lighthouse, Lake Erie, Ohio. So, let's get into it. South Bass Island is a small island in western Lake Erie and part of Ottawa County, Ohio. The island is a popular recreation spot and is called the Key West of Lake Erie. The village of Put-in-Bay is a popular tourist destination during the summer. Indigenous Americans, including the Erie, Seneca, Ottawa, Wyandotte, Miami, Delaware, Tuscarora, and Shawnee, visited the island for hunting and as a temporary haven during storms. Louis Jollet, a French fur trader, became the first non-Indian to explore Lake Erie in 1669. The French were the first white inhabitants of the islands, and records indicate that Louis Hennepin performed a mass on Put-in-Bay, making him the first European to set foot on the land. In 1811, Seth Dunn arrived with a group of laborers who worked to clear over 110 acres of land to plant wheat and other crops. Philip Vroman was the first permanent settler in 1843. South Bass Island served as a base of operations for Oliver Hazard Perry during the War of 1812 and the Battle of Lake Erie. South Bass Lighthouse was built in 1897. It consisted of a large 2.5-story red brick dwelling with an attached 12-foot square tower. The tower stood 45 feet high when finished, guiding the boats and ships that sailed along Lake Erie's rocky shores and unpredictable waters. Its lantern was lit for the first time July 10, 1897, by keeper Harry H. Riley. Under Riley's watch, the lighthouse would perform its duty from early March until late December, the typical shipping season for the area. On August 9, 1898, in need of help, Riley hired a caretaker named Samuel Anderson. Anderson was an eccentric individual who lived in the basement of the lighthouse. It is rumored that he kept a collection of live snakes from the island. But tragedy struck the lighthouse shortly after the building was completed and Anderson's arrival. In the summer of 1898, smallpox broke out in the surrounding area, and the island was under quarantine. As the legend goes, Anderson became increasingly paranoid of the epidemic. On August 31, 1898, only 22 days after moving to the island, Anderson was found dead, having fallen off of a rocky cliff near the lighthouse. It is unclear whether he committed suicide or if his death was an accident. Some say he killed himself out of fear of contracting smallpox, and the lighthouse board later ruled his death a suicide. On September 2, 1898, 2 days after Anderson's death, Riley was found wandering in nearby Sandusky and arrested. It is said Keeper Riley was convinced he owned a fast racehorse and was inviting everyone to the fairgrounds to see the horse go for a record. He was soon declared hopelessly insane and committed to an insane asylum in Toledo, where he died in March of 1899. Mrs. Riley took charge of the lighthouse until her husband was just discharged from duty and a new keeper was named. Although no official connection has been made between Anderson's death and Riley's sudden insanity, some have speculated that Riley was so distraught from Anderson's death that he simply went insane. The lighthouse operated until 1962, when it was retired and purchased by Ohio State University, which used the structure as a research station and guest house. Since 2005, the first floor and tower of the lighthouse have been open to the public for tours. Those who have stayed at the lighthouse report sounds of eerie footsteps, doors slamming on their own, and strange, unexplained noises. The lighthouse is open for tours on select dates from June to October. Group tours can be scheduled from April to November. If you pay them a visit, let them know that the Shadow Sanctuary podcast sent you. Hey, before you take off, I believe in supporting my friends and other content creators. That is why I'm sending you to YouTube to check out Taskerland's Radiophonic Workshop, an experimental station with excellent music by day and provocative talk by night. So, head over to YouTube, give a listen, and a subscribe. The link for Taskerlands can be found on our Facebook page, The Shadow Sanctuary. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information on upcoming episodes. As always, don't let the eerie vibes fade too quickly. Stay haunted, my friends.